Howdy y'all, welcome into the channel. So today, straight out of Turkey, by way of EAA imports, we're checking out a Girsan, a little Turkish delight here. Now this is a strange model from Girsan, which is why it interested me. I haven't seen this before, and it is kind of a weird one. So let's jump in here. Now in the box you get an instruction manual for a bunch of different models, this being the MC21. You get a cable lock, a cleaning brush, and your firearm. So let's take a look at this guy here. First off, mag's empty. We have a clear firearm. Now this is an odd duck. So a couple things that interested me about this. This appears to be a discontinued model. I contacted EAA and Girsan. Neither one of them got back to me on this. That's okay. This sat in a local pawn shop for about a year and a half. I've been eyeballing it for a while. From what I could find, this was released, I believe, in 2019, and by 2020 was discontinued. So they brought it in the US market. I guess it didn't do well. For whatever reason, they discontinued it. It was interesting enough to me for me to pick it up. And part of that reason is originally this sold for about 500 bucks. And the couple of retailers I can find online that still have one of these, they're running about $500. I picked it up for even a little bit less than this. This is a new firearm. I handled it a few times. I went into the pawn shop a couple times, took a look at it, and it interested me enough that I figured for a couple $100, why not check it out? Now this is 9mm, about a 4.5-inch barrel, 15-round capacity. None of that's strange. What's strange is it looks like Girsan took a low-level design engineer, stuck him in a room, gave him a bunch of photos of different firearms and said, make this into one gun, don't come out till you finish it. Apparently he did his job. You definitely have some Beretta inspiration here, mag release, decocker. I also see a little bit of SIG, definitely with this beaver tail, with the slide, maybe a little HK and FN in there as well. Also Smith & Wesson 5900 series, definitely a little bit in this. In fact, this takes Smith & Wesson 59 series mags. This is a Metgar mag, but you can see here that it is the Smith & Wesson series 59 series mags. So mags are plentiful for this. They only send you one in the box. That's okay. A couple other things about this. You do have a 1-slot rail here, but it's a pretty good sized rail. You have a very enlarged trigger guard. You can see that's a huge trigger guard. You got a nice undercut. Definitely Beretta 92 magazine release. Grips are pretty much Beretta 92. Beaver tail, a little bit of SIG. You do have steel white dot sights. They're a little small, but I do like the steel sights. Now, we have a decocker. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a decocker. Kind of like the Beretta 92. Also a safety, disables the trigger. Now, double action trigger, fairly heavy, but it is pretty smooth. Single action trigger, a little bit of take up, nice clean break, a little bit of over travel, and reset right there. So not a bad trigger, a little heavy maybe. A couple other features on this: takedown, super easy. Button there, rotate that takedown lever, and off she comes. Now this is a tilting barrel design, so a little bit different than the 92, but the internals are very Beretta-esque. Now a couple other things. You got a lanyard loop here. You can wear this around your neck if you want. I guess it's more effective than a gold clock. You can also use this as a boat anchor in a pinch. It is pretty heavy. You're running over 2 pounds, about 2.2 pounds. So it is fairly heavy. It is a chunky boy. You got over an inch from decocker to decocker. It's got some heft to it. The ergonomics are pretty nice. I don't like the lack of serrations here. These serrations to me are a little far forward. In fact, I got my hand pretty good messing with this last night. I'm used to kind of jumping over there, and there's not a whole lot of room, so you kind of have to get right in front of the decocker to rack that slide back. So be careful of that. Not that you're going to find one of these. Now, they made a ported version of this that I did see for sale at one time, and the ports were up here where these notches are on either side of the sight, and it had some cuts on the slide here. So they had two different models of this MC21. This is the one I found. It was cheap enough for me to take a look at. It piqued my interest. A pretty good feel to it, nice heft. Does have a pretty high bore axis. We'll see how this handles at the range. You really don't have, even though this is a small beaver tail, you really don't have a danger of slide bite just because that bore axis is so high. You can see that hammer sits well above my hand. Pretty interesting model. Looks like a mismatch of 4 or 5 different guns all in one. It was interesting enough for me. I like interesting guns. It's interesting enough for me, and being discontinued, that I decided, why not? Let's take a shot on this, see how it shoots. Range report coming up on this weird guy. I'll get that to you as soon as I can. I appreciate each and every one of you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. All helps the channel, and I will see you next time I make a video. Y'all stay safe out there.